On this episode of Smackdown, we had debuts, we teased debuts, we had in-ring returns, we set up an in-ring return, and we had a title switch. This is 5 things that we learned from Smackdown. Number 1. Is Jade Cargill a babyface? We had a segment which was nicely put up in the stands. Jade Cargill was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, right? And she was asking her how she feels after the attack and, getting her own back on Naomi. And Jade Cargill said that, I feel fine. Physically, I'm good, but my heart is broken. Naomi was big sis. This is how she treated me. Then she paired up with Bianca out of nowhere. They went on to do the tag team thing. And almost like, I don't know who to trust anymore. Was Bianca involved? She didn't say that, but she kind of insinuated that I don't know who to trust anymore. So right now I'm on my own mission. I'm on my own sort of thing against the wall. That's Bianca's song, isn't it? And yeah, she's just gonna have a crack at this kind of singles thing. And of course, Liv and Raquel Rodriguez, they came into the shot and they were just heckling and throwing shade on Jade because Jade didn't come out and clear their name. And it's like, everyone thought it was us. You could have just said no, it wasn't you guys, but you left everyone to think it was us. And Jade was not even like being apologetic about that matter, which they are quite justified to feel like that. Jade was pretty much saying, I'm doing something, don't interrupt. But Liv couldn't help herself. They were interrupting. Jade said that she's going to get back in the win and she's going to beat that ass to Liv Morgan. So next week we are getting Jade Cargill versus Liv Morgan. Very interesting match here. Obviously, Liv Morgan is one half of the women's tag team champions, the team that beat Naomi and Bianca Belair, right? So I don't know how Jade is gonna fare in a singles competition here because we haven't seen her in much singles competition in WWE anyway. And they have to put her over. They have to make her feel like super strong, super powerful. She's obviously just annihilated Naomi for the past 2 weeks. So yeah, they have to kind of continue that thread. And Liv Morgan is a good person to put in front of her because Liv Morgan, current champion in the women's tag division, previous women's champion. So it's a good name, but we'll see the type of match they have. I am very, very intrigued. And then to see, is it just the match and done? Will Naomi come out and get her own back? What are the shenanigans that will follow? But my question to you guys is, and I want to hear it down below in the comments, yeah? Is Jade Cargill a babyface? Like, I don't know if Jade Cargill has like real babyface qualities, I just feel like she can be like, the badass babyface. Almost like a bit of a Bron Breakker, where he's found himself these days. But in a situation like this where she's been attacked, Liv is mocking her, does she really elicit empathy, sympathy? Like, I don't know. Like, I want to see Jade get her own back, but do I feel sorry for Jade Cargill? I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think down below in the comments on that one. Number 2. Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. There is no story. You see this one right here, yeah? There is just no story at all. Like, at all. Like, Charlotte had her match against B-Fab on the night on SmackDown. Good stuff. B-Fab is like rapidly improving. Charlotte looked good in her first match back, other than the Royal Rumble, obviously. Her first in-ring singles match, I think Charlotte looked decent. And she put away B-Fab. And after the match, she reapplied the submission move. She reapplied the figure 8 leg lock. And that brought out Tiffany Stratton to make the save for B-Fab ultimately. Tiffany Stratton buckled getting into the ring anyway. And then they were just scrapping, yeah? They were just scrapping, brought out producers, brought out security, some security that we are very used to seeing on the UK indies. So shout out them, man. But yeah, brought out just all of these guys from the back. Big scrap. Fun scrap nonetheless. Tiffany Stratton went up top to kind of punctuate it, absolutely missed Charlotte, but got all of the security. They all fell down like a sack of potatoes. They moved on to the next segment of the show and the scrap continued on the entranceway, which was a fun bit of camera direction where Miz TV had started, but all of a sudden no one cared about that anymore. I mean, no one really cares about Miz TV anyway. And then they kind of went back towards the entranceway where these two women were fighting. We saw Tiffany Stratton go up again towards the Titantron, and then she done another somersault, swanton bomb off the Titantron, and went again through the security, missing Charlotte. Like, you can have pull apart brawls, no problem, but you've literally put 2 on one show. Now finally Tiffany Stratton is fighting back. Tiffany Stratton is looking like somewhat of a threat, you know? She's the champion, of course, but there is no story being told here. If you're just gonna have pull apart brawls and scraps all the way till Mania, it's going to get boring, you know? So yeah, there's no story here. And I think it's very simple. I said this during the week. This should be a simple don't meet your heroes type story. Tiffany Stratton would have obviously taken influence of Charlotte Flair all those years ago when she was in the Performance Center. Just tell that as a story. But instead, we are not telling anything. We don't really know Charlotte's motivation behind picking Tiffany over Rhea. And we're now just having pull apart brawls. So hopefully they add some depth to this as opposed to, you know, just go the entire distance till Mania fighting each other to then just have a fight at WrestleMania. Number 3, debuts galore. Listen, I didn't think I was going to get one vignette in this show about a debut, let alone 2. There was a vignette of a man that had tassels on his gear, climbing the ropes and doing all that kind of stuff, perched on the ropes. You could just see the silhouette. There was an image of his hand with a tattoo, and there is a certain wrestler that has a very similar tattoo on the hand. This was Rey Fenix. For sure, this is Rey Fenix, and it looks like we could get him soon. Before I'm gonna get more into that, I'll tell you about the second one. The second one was like all this kind of misty smoke stuff. There was number 4. Right? Everyone online is saying this is the return of Aleister Black, formerly Malachi Black in AEW, but before that he was Aleister Black in WWE. Rey Fenix, Aleister Black, they're kind of giving us both. Like, this is Triple H literally showing all the names he's got in his artillery at once. Like, very, very fun stuff, very, very interesting stuff. I didn't think you should debut these guys before Mania. I didn't think that was going to be the move, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe we're just going to have long vignettes, and it's a long time to kind of keep these vignettes going, you know, for the next, 4 weeks or so, till Mania. But yeah, maybe he's going to just let us have these guys before Mania. Who knows? Who knows? But it looks like Rey Fenix, Aleister Black, they have made their WWE returns, and this is surely the announcement of them, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to more news. If more news comes out about this, you guys stay locked on the channel. We'll definitely kind of top up anything that comes to light around this. But we've got 2 new singles competitors in the supposed, I assume it's a SmackDown division, because, you know, they ran the vignettes on SmackDown. Taking Rey Fenix, keeping him away from Penta, I think is a very good move for now. You know, let them both explore singles stuff away from each other, and hopefully singles glory. Aleister Black, you know, one of Triple H's faves. Let's hope we can get this right. 3rd time's a charm. Number 4, Axiom main roster debut. This was it. Like, I was so excited going into this show, knowing that Axiom was in Barcelona, thinking, they've got to do it. They've got to give Fraxium a match. Like, Fraser and Axiom would absolutely light up the SmackDown tag team division. Give them an opportunity. Axiom is in town. We know this now from his social media. Like, this has got to be it. What we got was even better than what I wanted. What we got, Gunther, who had come across from Raw, came out, and obviously he mocked Barcelona, him being a European guy himself. He probably knows the lay of the land. He said Hala Madrid in Barcelona, which, yeah, crazy. Obviously there's the Real Madrid Barcelona Football Club beef, ongoing beef for years and years and years. So that's what, you know, Gunther was referring to. And he said, listen, I know that in Spain you have a kid, yeah? I know in Spain you have a kid that is like the hopes of your country. You say he's the best wrestler in your country. So, you know, let's bring him out and I'll have a match with him, sort of thing. And out comes formerly known as A Kid, Axiom. The crowd went crazy. He looked brilliant. He came out with his NXT tag team title, and him and Gunther had the most just satisfying 10-minute match I've probably seen on SmackDown in a long time. Like, it was so good. Gunther, now that he's back in his just wrestling bag, you know, towards the back end of 2024, they tried to do a lot more character stuff with him, which is fine. He needs to develop that side, but like, this is his bag. Just wrestling, like, this is his bag. And him and Axiom, who I always say, Axiom is top 5 best wrestlers on NXT right now. Like, he is so good. Maybe I'll even go top 3. Yeah, if I'm going crazy, let me know down below in the comments. I think Axiom is so good. I think Fraser is so good, and they're stuck in the tag team together. Like, it's crazy. So I was so happy to see this match. I thought they had an absolute stonker in 10 minutes by SmackDown standards. And yeah, Gunther obviously won. He's the World Heavyweight Champion. He's building towards a WrestleMania match with Jey Uso. But Axiom, we need to get to a point on NXT where Axiom is a single star, Fraser is a single star, and these two are wrestling each other for the NXT title. That would be magnifique. Like, that's what I want. Number 5, profits are up. Now, I didn't see this coming. I did not see this coming at all. DIY versus Street Profits in the main event of SmackDown. I thought this was just going to be a run-of-the-mill match where DIY cheat to win and DIY get Pretty Deadly next week, who Pretty Deadly are the number 1 contenders. And obviously Pretty Deadly, they've been in cahoots with DIY around who attacked Street Profits until now that they're not anymore. So I thought that's where, you know, DIY, Pretty Deadly gonna have an opportunity to get their hands on DIY from that. So I counted out the Street Profits from winning this match, and then they won it. Street Profits are the new tag team champions over here on SmackDown. And listen, brilliant for them, man. Absolutely great for them. They are such a good tag team, one of the best tag teams that WWE have on the main roster. My thing is, you know, to think Street Profits haven't won the tag team titles in 4 years. It's funny because they've largely been fit. There hasn't been any major injuries. And it's like, if you guys haven't won the tag team titles in 4 years, what's been happening? Like, where have you been, sort of thing? And obviously they've done a little stint with Bobby Lashley. Obviously the Usos had that record-breaking run, which was maybe about, you know, 18 months long with the titles. But even in that time, they kind of experimented with Montez Ford as a single star. Montez Ford faced Roman Reigns. You remember that match? Montez Ford was in the Elimination Chamber. But yeah, for so long, they've been doing nothing. I thought DIY retain here, DIY go on and beat Pretty Deadly, and then at WrestleMania we get the big multi-man match with all the tag teams, as we've all assumed was going to happen anyway, and then Street Profits might win there. But yeah, it's happened already. So I don't know, did they walk into WrestleMania and retain the tag titles? Very possible, and that could be a nice feeling as well, you know, walking in as champions, walking out as champions. Belts don't always have to switch at WrestleMania. My only thing is, I'm not really convinced by this new attitude or heel turn or whatever we are calling it. It just seems like they're wearing black. It just seems like they're wearing black, and you know, I can't really see much different for them happening. Like, yeah, the attitude is a bit different, but at times they're still dancing and this, that, and the other. Like, I'm not really convinced. I do think we need something a bit more defined and solid, and you know, hopefully they can go on a tear through the tag division. There's enough tag teams now to really kind of make something happen for them and make this reign meaningful. So all the best to them. Like I say, profits are up. Let's see if they can stay up on SmackDown. So that's it. 5 things that we learned from WWE Smackdown. Let me know down below in the comments anything that you learned. Like I say, let me know what you think of this whole Jade Cargill situation. Is that lady a babyface? I don't know. I think she's a babyface just because she's a badass, but I don't think she's, you know, making me feel sorry for her or anything like that. Let me know your thoughts on Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair. Do you think there's a story there? Will they eventually tell a story, or is it just scraps all the way through? And let me know what you think about Street Profits winning the tag team titles once again. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. And if you're new here, what's up? My name is Mex. I make videos on WWE and AEW. So if that sounds like something for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.